Well, good morning, guys, and welcome to the show, Fernando.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Today, we're going to start our series on Kicker's new LX500.4 4-channel amplifier. Over the next couple videos, we're going to take this thing, unbox it, show you how the controller works, dyno it, do all kinds of fun and excitement, so that if you're thinking about getting one of these, you'll know how to use it, you'll know what it's capable of, and well, you'll know everything you need to know about making an informed decision on this product. We're super excited. Let's get started. Let's take a closer look at the box itself, as always, and see what we can learn from it. Heading up into the top corner, we have signature Kicker sound. Kicker power always exceeds rated power, compatible with stop-start technology. This is a big one. If you have a car that does have stop-start and you want to use your stop-start, some amplifiers, because of how big they are, when the car goes to start back up, the amplifier will sometimes shut off because it goes below the operating voltage of the amplifier. When you see this stop-start compatible, that means that when the car goes to start, your amplifiers will keep playing sound and you'll have a very pleasant experience. Fail-safe integrated technology, also known as FIT Plus advanced input design. Moving down to the corresponding bottom corner, 4-channel amplifier, LX504. Moving over to the next corner, 1100 watts of dynamic power, 900 watts of power at 2 ohm, 500 watts of power at 4 ohm. It's a 4-channel amplifier. I'm guessing why it's called 500. High power 4-channel amplifier, ultra efficient Class D design, includes LX control center. If we flip the amplifier over to the rear, we can get some more specifications. First up is going to be the size of the amplifier, 2 3/8 inch tall, 9 7/16 wide, 8.5 inches deep. Here we finally get some raw cutout specs where we get the RMS power watts at 14.4. 2 ohm is 225 by 4. 4 ohm is 125 by 4. Bridged mono is 450 times 2. Dynamic power is 1100. Frequency response is 20 to 20,000. Input sensitivity is 125 millivolts to 5 volts with your RCA, and then high level input is 1 volt to 40 volts. Basically, this means if you're going to be using this high level, you can pretty much put anything you want into this and it'll handle it. I don't think there's a factory system out there that has over 40 volts. Selectable electronic crossover. Amp 1 and amp 2 can be off, high pass, low pass, or band pass, and it is selectable crossovers between Butterworth and Linkwitz Riley. We'll dig more into that when we get into the controller. There is some wordage up here. Incrementally dial in an entire system with the included LXCC control center. Class D design for lower current draw, longer play times, and lower operating temperature. Gain match LEDs show you perfect gain settings. Customize the appearance with reversible center panel and RGB LED accent lighting. The LX amplifiers up to this point have been very impressive. I see no reason why this one will not just blow us out of the park. Let's dig into this thing. Each one of them is going to come with a burn-in sheet. This one comes in at 1,002 watts. Set that aside. The LXCC or controller. This is what we're going to focus on today, and part 1 of the video is how to set up the amplifier. When you buy an LX amplifier, if it's a multi-channel, it is going to come with this. The monos do not come with this. A little bit about this controller. This is not made to be installed into the car. The sole purpose of this is to program the amplifier. All of these are universal, meaning if you have a 4-channel, a 5-channel, or a 7-channel, they're all going to be the same when you plug it in. They'll do the same thing. It just knows what it is when it plugs it into the amplifier. If you would like to put this somewhere in the car, you can do that. You will need a butt connector and an extender in order to do that. It uses a standard connector here. Let's continue on into the box. If you are going to be doing it high level to low level, there is a high level to low level level plug located in the bottom of the box in this package here. This is actually quite handy. This also has a voltage gain chart on it. So if you don't want for some reason to use the peak lights that are built into it and you would like to use a digital multimeter and play a test tone, this will allow you to do that depending on the size of the amplifier. You pick your wattage, your ohm load, and it'll tell you what your voltage out should be. There's also 4 screws and an Allen key in this bag. Other than that, that's it. This is just a big piece of packaging. Kicker, to make things more efficient, just has one size box, fits all. Does make things kind of nice. Now, one of the questions we get asked all the time is, why do I need this? This seems kind of silly. And the easiest explanation for that is space. We can do a lot more with this controller here, externally mounted from the amplifier, than we can with all of this built into here. We are running out of room in cars. That means we need more compact amplifiers. And if we want analog features, like a very complex crossover, some form of delay, gains, and all these other fun things, then we need to move some of that out of this and not into necessarily a laptop, because there again, that adds another layer of excitement to the system. And so the solution, or the halfway point, is this controller that allows us to do a lot of those settings here, and the only thing we have on the amplifier are these gains. And the reason why we're going to concentrate on this first is because, one, there's not an amplifier out there that has something like this, and when people don't understand something, they tend to shy away from it. And I don't want anyone to do that. I want them to feel totally comfortable buying an LX amplifier, knowing that this is the same stuff that you're used to, it's just in a better package, and it's not all crammed into the amplifier, which is kind of nice. Let's plug this in and start pressing buttons. Welcome to the LXCC. There's 4 control knobs across the bottom, 4 control buttons on the pad. Across the top, it gives you an idea of what that button underneath it does. Gain trim, high pass, low pass, time delay. When the screen is powered up, it'll tell you the amplifier it's connected to, as well as the battery voltage and the operating temperature of the amplifier. Even though the amplifier has gain controls on it, if you press the button and select amp 1, you'll see gain trim. This can be used as a final gain. You can turn the gain up and add an additional 3 dB, or you can turn the gain down and remove 9 dB. If you press it, it'll pull up amp 2, which are channels 3 and 4. You can easily toggle between the two. Next is the high pass crossover. Press the button once, it'll pull up amp 1, high and low. If you start turning the dial, it will allow you to adjust your high pass. The frequency range for high pass is 20 to 5K. The frequency range for low pass is 40 to 5K. So in this case, if we were going to be using this to power a set of tweeters, we could dial it into, let's say, 3200, and that would give us our high pass. The top left button that says amp select, if you press that, it'll bring up amp 2. If we turn the low pass dial it into 3200, that will be our bandpass top for our mid bass. And if we turn our high pass and we set it to 80, that will be our bottom for our mid bass, or our high pass filter. This will allow that speaker set on channels 1 and 2 to have a high pass of 3200, meaning how low that tweeter will play. On amp 2, channels 3 and 4 will have a band pass that will play from the low point being 80 Hertz up to where that tweeter is crossed over, 3200. If you notice as I'm turning this, if I spin it faster, it will jump around. That way you don't have to sit here and click this thing a bunch of times. It will automatically jump ahead for you. If you turn it slower, it will slow down. If we were gonna set this up to do front and rear, turn this back down, we could select 80 Hertz, high pass, select amp 2. I always like to cross my rears over a little higher, 110. If we were gonna use this to run a set of front speakers and a subwoofer, then we wanna turn the high pass off and adjust our low pass for something like 80 Hertz. Once we have the crossover dialed to the frequency that we want, we now need to pick the slope of the crossover. The top right button says crossover type. This gives us the ability to choose between Linkwitz-Riley or Butterworth. If we go back to scenario 1, where we were running amp 1, channels 1 and 2 on tweeters, and amp 2, channels 3 and 4 on mid bass, I would recommend selecting Linkwitz-Riley, and then come down to the bottom right button that says crossover slope, and select 24 dB per octave. This will alleviate any problems we'll have with the mid-range to tweeter transition. If we're just going to be doing scenario 2, where we're running front and rear, Butterworth, 12 dB, might be a little bit more enjoyable. And then in scenario 3, 3 where we're running channels 1 and 2 off of amp 1 to power our highs, and channels 3 and 4 amp 2 bridge to a subwoofer, we may also want to pick Butterworth. That one, however, you can play with to see which one would sound better. Although this amplifier does not have a DSP, it does have one DSP feature, which is time delay. What this is designed to do is channels 1 on amplifier 1 and channel 3 on amplifier 2, which is the left hand side or the driver's side, it will add a delay up to 10 milliseconds to those channels. This will allow you to dial in a center image, taking the driver's side and moving it out the distance of the passenger side. To do that, the bottom right button here, click it. First up is amplifier 1. Time delay. Now there's a bunch of different ways in which you can dial this in. One of my personal favorites is using the Sheffield Labs My Disc polarity test, and it'll create a popping sound, which if you've watched any of our videos you've heard, but if you have iTunes or Spotify, the disc is there. As the speaker is popping, make sure that it's just 2 speakers playing, either the front speakers or the front tweeters or the front mid-range. As they're popping, start to turn this dial slowly. As you turn it, what you should notice is the speaker move to the center of the dash. And if you go too far, it'll move all the way over to the other side, and then you want to dial it back in. You can also use a speech track, something that says I'm in the left, I'm in the center, and I'm in the right, and while doing that, dialing in this, or any track that has a main vocal located in what should be the center of your dash. Now the center of the dash is entirely up to you. Some people, the center of the dash is above the gauge cluster, and myself and Fernando, we consider the center of the dash the center of the dash, where a speaker would be. Turn this dial until it sounds approximately where you want it to be. Hit amp select and repeat the process for channel 3 and 4 amplifier 2, turning the dial until that sound stage moves to wherever you would like the center to be. The last feature built into this is channel mode. Channel mode allows you to do some neat things with the outputs, in that if you press it once, it'll tell you that amp 1 is in stereo. In that scenario 3, where amplifier 2 was going to be a subwoofer, we may want to choose mono left plus right. This will take the audio from the right and the audio from the left and sum that together so that you have a mono sound going to that subwoofer. The next option is left minus right. If you're going to be using this for rear fill, you may want to try this for your rear speakers because it will add a neat ambient effect that you might enjoy, and then it'll cycle back around to stereo. Now because this is a 4-channel amp and this is a universal adapter, there is a right down here where it says phase. For the 4-channel amplifier, this feature is not available. That is for the 5 and 7-channel for control with the subwoofer. One last thing, in the bottom corner right here, you can kind of see it, is a little clip light. The clip light is there for if you are going to be using the gain trim here and you're just kind of railing it, you might not be able to see the clip light on the amplifier. So this guy will light up to tell you, hey man, turn me down. Alright guys, there you go. Now you know everything there is to know about the LXCC. Stay tuned for the next video where we'll get inside and talk about all the features that are built into the amplifier. But for now, this is all we got. Fernando, if you please.
On to the next one, guys.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you later next time.
Bye.